Here we go. Welcome to Posca Club. So nice and simple with Posca Club today. We're just going to use 3 colours and a black. I'm not counting black as a colour. Just going to use 3 colours. We're going to draw like a skull with like a mushroom toadstool cap or hat on it as well. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me show you what colours I'm going to use. Essentially, as long as you've got a dark and a light shade of a colour, you'll get away with that. A dark shade and a light shade. So I'm using red and coral pink. And that's going to be for the top, for the hat, for the cap of my Skull Toadstool character that I've designed for you. Then I'm also going to use, because it's a skull and because I want to keep the palette quite limited today, I'm just going to use grey as well. The grey is going to help us with some shadows in the skull, but also in the spots of the cap. There's going to be some spots, going to be some grey shading in there as well. Just going to hopefully give everything a lot more shade. And then finally, they're all 5Ms. This is a 3M in black. That's all you're going to need today for this session. Let's go draw it in, shall we? Pencils are for losers, so let's go straight in with our grey Posca pen. And what we're going to do, about, what do we reckon? About halfway down the page, we're going to draw some. We're going to draw the bit of the mushroom or the toadstool that the skull drops out of. Okay, so work with me here. We're going to draw a curve like this, and then either side of that curve, we're going to do 2 more curves coming out of it. A fairly big one, then a fairly small one. So like that, fairly big one, and then a fairly small one. Fairly big, fairly small. Easy, yeah? Got that bit? Then what we'll do is going to pop the skull out the bottom, so stick with your grey pen. And what we'll do is we're going to bring in 2 lines. 2 lines are going to come down and in a little bit, and then across here we're going to have a set of teeth. There's no bottom jaw for this, just a set of teeth down there. I'll draw the whole thing. You can see how it works. Okay, so from there, look, down and in, from there, down and in, and then this middle bit, we join that middle bit together with a bouncy line. So I like doing 3 teeth. There is our skull popping out the bottom, okay? Hi Addy, you've not missed much. These are the colours. I'm using red, coral, grey and black, okay? Light's gone out. Light's gone out. There you go. Let's carry on with this skull. So next thing we're going to do, let's go and put some eyes in. So with the eyes, either side there, think more like 50p piece rather than doing anything too smooth and too round. But let's go like that kind of shape. Something wonky at the other side as well. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nice and wonky. Fairly even would be good, but that's close enough for me. Now this skull, we're going to draw, we're going to make it look like the eyes are holes in the skull. So just inside the holes of the skulls, we're going to take this outside line, that line there, and we're just going to bring it across just a little tiny bit. So it's going to look like this. Yeah. Same on the right hand side, we're going to take that outside line, we're just going to bring it inside a little bit. So it should look like that. Don't worry about the nose, we'll put a little upside down heart in there for the nose later. Now next section is going to be a huge leap of faith. Okay. We're going to put in, so we're going to have this like cap hanging around the top here, but we're going to put in 2 of these spots that are overlapping the edge of the cap. Okay, so you want one just about here. You see where the edge there is? We just go up and put one in just there. That's one spot. So it's taking the edge of that bouncy line, that very first bouncy line we did, that edge of that, just go up a little bit, whack one in there. Then what we're going to do is going to go on the other side. We're going to do another leap of faith. So you see where the eyeball is? This time we're going to go for the eyeball, go a little bit higher up and just angle it a little bit more like that. Okay, so this one is kind of pointing almost upwards. This one is kind of at that angle. Like I say, huge leap of faith in there. Okay, that's it for grey pen. Go and grab your red pen. We're going to go and throw in a couple of lines. So when I say red pen, depending on what colours you're going for, what combo you're going for, it'll be great to see this in like purple. The very original, the second workshop I ever did online was called the Zoom Shroom, and we did it in purples and lavenders and stuff like that. What's that? What you got there, Maisie? Is that like an aqua, an emerald green? Yeah, nice. Beautiful combo.
I don't know what colour it is. It actually is emerald.
It's emerald, yeah, yeah. Emerald and aqua, if that's what you're using, that's going to look fantastic. Go for greens, go for any shape, any shade, but go for the darker colour first. We're going to go and put some shapes on with this darker colour. Okay, ready for this then? We're going to start on the edge of the skull, just underneath that bouncy line. We're going to go all the way around the top bit and finish on the edge of the skull over this side with that red line. Try not to go too wide out with this. Something like that will do. Yeah, you're just kind of going around it, putting a little head on it. We're going to do that line again. This time we're going to go a bit wonkier, a bit crazier. We're going to start a little bit lower down this time, just about there. We're going to finish off a little bit lower down on the other side, just about there. The important bit is that we hit these two spots. Okay, so we're going to go in one end, out the other end, in one end, out the other end. Okay, so let's do that. So here we go. Look, let's go round, in one end, out the other end, in one end, out the other end again, and see if you can have it going. So it goes like this. It goes round. Like that. Look at that. I love the shape of that hat. It's exactly what I wanted. Nothing like my mushroom that I drew earlier on today, which was nothing like what I'd planned. This one is spot on. Okay. Now what we're going to do on here, on this bit, is we're going to have a little shadow kind of coming in about this angle. So this side's going to be dark red, this side's going to be coral. But somewhere in here we want a few more kind of spots, I guess. So let's go and throw a big one in just here. Look, doing it in red this time instead of grey. That'll be fine, don't worry about that. Let's throw a big one in there. Let's throw a smaller one in just there. And I think that's good. That's good, right? Now remember what I said about we're going to have the light source coming from this direction, shadow over this side, so we're going to outline where our shadow is going to be and then colour it all in. Okay, remember the red is our shadow colour, the coral pink is our highlight colour. So my suggestion would be, have a little shadow coming down from about there. It's going to come down. As it gets to the base of the hat, this bit is kind of curled under. So there's going to be a shadow all the way across here, look. You see that? So from there, going down, curling round, and then all the way across there. Let's go and whack some colouring on that section, shall we? So I'm going to start just there. And again, just a reminder, this is your darker colour that you should be using now. This is where all the shadows live. Nice and light as you're touching the paper. Let the paper touch the pen rather than pushing the pen onto the paper. Scrap sheet of cardboard just in case you need to prime your pen. And let's just quickly whack some colour on. All the way around the other side as well, until you're getting into that head, into the side of the head. Chop it off just there, colour that in. So there's our shadow. You might want to tweak the shape of that shadow to make it darker or lighter, or just you know, if the light was a bit further behind the mushroom, the shadow would be a little bit further over, that kind of thing. So feel free to tweak that. You don't have to do it now though. What we are going to do now though is going to add some extra little drop shadows. I want to make these stones, these spots, I want to make them look like they're popping out a little bit, okay? So we're going to add some extra little drop shadows to them. So for example, light's coming in from this direction, so I'd expect to see a little shadow about there. Look. See what I mean? See what I mean? Same with this one, look. Light's coming in from this direction, I'd expect to see a little shadow about there, I think. Repeat that for however many spots you've got on there. Let's go and add these little shadows in. Even this top one here that is already sitting behind a shadow, I'm just going to put in a little touch of a shadow, look, just about there, just a little tiny shadow in there. That's it. One of our three colours is done. Let's go to our second colour. We're going to go and work on grey next. Actually, no, scrub that. Stick with that pen. Stick with that pen that you was using. 'Cause I forgot that I'm actually going to use that for the back of the eyes and for the nose as well. So let's go down and do those. So this part of the eye. Now, doesn't matter what colour you've used. Go and put it in there, and it's going to look like the inside of the skull is that colour. And then right in between the eyes, just above the teeth, a little upside down heart. Let's keep it cute. A little upside down heart like that. For our nose. Now we're done with that colour. So now we're going to go into grey. The reason I'm using grey is because I'm going to use quite a lot of white. The sketchbook white is going to show through. So that's why I'm using grey. If you want to use a different colour for the shadow of the skull and these spots and this bit across the top, doesn't matter too much. Just try and get it quite a light colour if you can. Okay, let's start at the top, work our way down. So each of these spots is going to have a shadow. We're going to put a little bit of shape in there. So I can zoom in a little bit now. You've got a bit of an idea of what everything looks like. I can zoom in just there. And let's figure out where the shadow is going to go. I think the shadow goes just there on that one. You can't go too far wrong. Just whack in a shadow on the bottom right of each of these objects. If it's a chunky shadow, it's going to make like the object look like it's poking out a little bit further. If it's a thin shadow, it's going to make it look like it's quite flat. Over on here as well, let's go and put a shadow in just there, I reckon. This one, again, just thinking where the light is coming in from. Outline a little kind of moon shape. And then throw in the colour inside there. Now actually all of these are in front of the cap. We're going to draw one of these spots that's going to be behind the cap. So right over here, look, this section here, let's go and put in, it's going to be all in shadow. So we can just put it all in grey. A little spot just there. We're going to have another one at the top here, but this one's going to all be in white, so you don't have to worry about putting any shadow in on that one. How's that looking? Let me zoom out so you can see what it looks like. That's kind of where you should be at. So we've got the shadow on the mushrooms or the toadstool's cap. We've got the shadow on all the spots that are just kind of hanging off. Awesome. Right, let's go and put the shadow in on this bit. You see this bit across here? I'm going to go and put the shadow in on that bit next. So this is where I'll zoom in a bit more. And what we'll do is we're going to join the two top points. We're going to join them together. Like that. You see how we're creating that moon shape? Or that, is it a crescent? I don't know. That little shape in there. Just thicken it out. Same with over here. Just thicken it out so it's nice and thin at the end. Now we're not going to be able to do any cutting in there, so you might want to just dot and dash it to make it a bit more of a neater line. The last one though, the important thing is for this last one that we go all the way out, we curve all the way out to the outside like here. All the way to the edge and then colour in all of this bit underneath. I'll do it again the other side, so don't worry if you missed that. So just as a reminder, dot and dash the ends, look. And then here we go again for this last one. You're just going to make that last one go all the way to the edge. So from there, all the way to the edge, colour it all in. I think that'll do. The only thing you might want to consider, which I haven't done on my original drawing, but you might want to consider, is how much is this cap overlapping this bit. You know, there might be a little shadow just along the top there as well. But I'll leave you to decide on whether you want to do that or not. Let's keep on working down though. There is going to be, this bouncy bit is going to cast a shadow on the skull. Now as I draw this in, I'm going to leave a little tiny piece of sketchbook in there so that I can see where the black line needs to go. Okay, but essentially I'm going to go all the way across, look. Just leaving that little tiny bit of white in there. That little tiny white line, that is where my black line is going to go. So it's just leaving me an indication of where that's going to live. There you go. That's how we should be looking. Something similar to that. Let's keep on working down. You see the eyes? Remember those lines that we put on the inside of the eyes? Let's colour these bits grey. Remember our light source is kind of coming from this kind of direction, so we're going to now put a little bit of a shadow around this side of the skull, maybe around the bottom of the teeth, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's just bring a line Just down there, look. Just thickening out the side of the skull. Throwing in a few little shadows at the bottom of the teeth as well. Now, as we do our black outlining, we are going to see quite a lot of these shadow lines still, because we used a 5M for these. So that will still give it the appearance of it kind of being around a more solid object. Okay. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Last colour. The lighter colour of the two that you've chosen. We've got 7 minutes now to finish this colouring in. It's only this little bit at the top here. Ideally, you want to make all these red bits. See this red line we've got across the top here? You want to make that line disappear with your lighter colour. So you ready? Let's go do it, shall we? And what we're going to do, make that bit disappear. We're going to go round these spots, round these shadows. Up here, look. Make the red bit disappear. Outlining everything in there. The only bits that we should see, the only red or the only darker colour that we should see are the shadow areas. None of these guidelines. These guidelines need to disappear now. And this is the beauty of Posca pens, is we can do this. We can change things around. We can put lighter colours over the top of darker colours. This technique will also work if you use two completely different colours as well. So if you use like a red and a purple, or a pink and a blue, it will still work. But what it will do is it will make it look like you've got different colour lights shining on your character, which is great if you want to create like a different mood. So even though we're still in that kind of making a mess zone of our artwork, just chucking on loads of colour. So don't worry if things aren't looking right. If you need to tweak them later, we can tweak them. If you've got any questions at half time, then is the time to ask. There we go, a little bit just there as well. Awesome, looking good. I am going to change one of my shadows, okay? This shadow down here just doesn't look quite thick enough for me. Because we've got quite a big shadow on the spot, it looks like it's standing out quite a lot. And because we've got quite a small shadow on the red area, it looks like doesn't look like it's very big. So I'm going to just change that, make that a little bit bigger. Look. You know, wait for it all to dry and then add that extra shadow in. I think that looks okay. And we will come back to that. We'll use those colours again. We'll add maybe some more spots, some little bits of texture, that kind of thing. But how are we looking? That is about where we need it to be. So let's have a little look how everybody else is doing. So if you're feeling up for it, put yourself into gallery view, hold the Skull Toadstool thing up to screen and let's have a look. So Maisie's up first. I'm really digging that colour combo. That looks really nice. Very fruity. That green is amazing. Awesome stuff. Well done, Maisie. How's Christian getting on? Traditional with the colours. Yeah, it looks great. Looks great. The only thing is there on Christian is, you know, that little bouncy line. Just make sure that little white line that you've left behind is really, really thin, because we're going to put a black line over the top of it and you don't really want to see any of that white coming through. So it doesn't matter if it's a broken line, as long as there's a little suggestion, just helps us position that line. Same with you, Addy. Just make sure that little white line that we've left is really, really thin, so that when we put the black line on it, we can't see any of the white. Okay, but I love the shape of yours, Addy. That's looking really nice. Awesome. Thanks, Addy. Jovi, I'm really surprised actually, Jovi. I thought I was going to see some, like, the spot's going to be hearts again on yours, but I'm glad you've gone for a different colour. The purples look amazing. Oh, you've gone hearts for the skull eyes. I've just noticed that. That's brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, you can't overdo the hearts, right? Nice work. Thanks, Jovi. Francis, hope you're doing okay. Harry, hope you're doing okay. We're going to carry on and go and put some outlines on now. So as soon as we put the outlines on, the bulk of the outlines, then we can just start having a little bit more fun with this character. Okay, right, whip yourself back into speaker view so that my camera's the biggest on your screen, and then I'm going to go in with a 3M in black. This is an A4 sketchbook, 3M in black, and I think what we'll do is we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down. That's my usual thing. So up here, let's outline, and you guys should know now by now that when it comes to colouring in, I like to colour the things in at the back and then colour the things in at the front last. When it comes to outlining, I like to outline the things that are closest to me, the things at the front, and then the things at the back last. So these spots here, these are the things that are at the front. So we're going to do those first, then we'll do the cap, and then we'll do the spot at the back as well. Okay, so let's start outlining. Make sure you go around the shadow of the spot, which is the grey bit, but make sure you don't go around the shadow that you've done for the that's being cast. The grey bit is the shape shadow, the red bit is the shadow that's being cast there. Okay, so let's just go around all of these bits. Now, you know me, I like to double line it just because I like wonky lines. They're easier to draw, look better. It's also a nice, easy way of kind of hiding any potential mistakes. Now, we've not left ourselves a lot of time for it to dry, so try not to press too hard. Try to keep your pen primed, so every few strokes of your pen, just go and prime it somewhere. There we go, that's looking good. One last time, let's go around this spot as well. Round once, round a second time. Nice and wonky. They're looking pretty good. Right, next bit. What we're going to do is going to go around the cap of our toadstool. I'm not going to take it all the way down to the bottom because I don't want the line, if we do the line down the side here, we're going to end up smudging it as we go and draw these bits in. So let's just take it to the edge there and there. So this top bit first, look. Double line it, strong intersection, so where the lines join the spots, make sure that part of the line is just a touch thicker. It's where the shadows live. It will hold your artwork together much nicer if you do that. Down the bottom here, look, just bring it to about there and stop, and we'll pick that line up later. Other side. Again, bring it to about there and stop. We'll pick the line up later. Now you remember we said we've got these spots that are on the front of our toadstool. We've got this spot that's behind the toadstool, and I said up here we're going to have a spot that's behind the toadstool as well. But the spot that's behind the toadstool up here is in 100% light, so it's just a white spot. So let's go and just outline it. Like that. Look at that. Love it when you don't have to colour things in and you're creating nice and quickly and easily. Should go around the other spot. There we go. Top half done. Let's go and work in the bottom half now. Let's get inside that skull. First thing I'll do is this line across the top here, but again I'm not going to go too close to around the edges. Just going to get this bit done to about there. Look. And again, we will pick this line up, we will pick it up and we'll carry it on around there later, but I just want to get that. I want to keep it all nice and clear so that I'm not smudging anything. The outside edges are a lot easier to do. Okay, now you remember the very first lines we put in, yeah, that big curve down the middle and then the two curves either side. And you remember I said just leave a real thin, slender indication of a line there so we know where to put our black pen line. That's what we're going to do now. So let's go and put our black pen line over there. Look. So you see how we're making that white bit? That white bit's got to disappear completely. Now it might be that when you put your black line on you can just wait for it to dry, then touch it up with the grey later. That will work. Let's carry on, look. Remember what I said about strong intersections, so as two lines join each other, make sure that's a little bit thicker. This line on the side is just going to end up in thin air. So about here. Once you've done one side, let's go and do the other side. Remembering that thin white line shouldn't be visible anymore. It was just there so we know where to put the black line. One more time. Like that. Let's keep on going. Let's get down in and do the eyes next. Here we go. So prime your pen. We're going to go around the whole outside of the eye. Double line it. Go around the inside part as well, like this bit. And then we're gonna flick around a little bit now. The reason I said do that eye like more like a 50p piece or like a hexagon kind of shape rather than a circle is so that what we can do is we take these lines, just flick a little line out. See how you're just carrying it on, so instead of bending around the eye, you just carry on that line. Let's do the same kind of thing down here, look. Just little tiny creases out. You can put in as many or as few creases as you want in there. Depending on which way those creases sit will be on whether your character looks like it's scared or scary. So have a little think about which way you want it. Let's go and do the other side. So remember, double line him. Nice and wonky. Put that inner eye in. Flick a few little lines around. There's one. There's two. Awesome. Right, around the edge, what I want us to do is just add another little crease, a floater of a line. So a double-ended flick off, just kind of sitting over here. Look, so just around the corners, like the eyebrow area. Let's do one over this side as well. Something like that. Only really small little lines. Depends how much space you've got. Awesome. Right, get into the nose. Let's outline that. Double line it. A couple of little floaters of lines underneath. Watch this. Look. You see how that just gives it like a bit of an edge around there. You could even do the same to the top of that nose as well. That would look pretty cool. I'm kind of running out of space on mine, so I'm not going to put it in. Fab, we're on the home straight now. Let's go and do the skull. So the skull, yeah, it's all a bit, it's a big grey block up there, but you can see where that line goes. So just take that line there. Bring it into the teeth. Same on the other side, look, you see where that line goes up, up, up. From there, bring it into the teeth. Whip around the underside of those teeth, flick the pen off a little bit either side, so like this, like you kind of want to start up here all the way underneath. Double line it, make the underside where the shadow would be a little bit thicker. Look at that. I love how that looks. Last couple of lines, then we can just, it's just about having a little bit of fun with finishing off. So last couple of lines, remember those lines that we stopped up here? We didn't want to bring them down too far in case we smudged them as we were doing the skull. Let's just bring those two lines back into the side of the skull. There's one. There's two. Double line it because I've missed bits. Same on the other side. Strong intersections as well as you bring that line into the side of the skull. Make sure that part of the line is a little bit thicker. How are we looking? Neat. Neat, but a little bit boring. So let's go and have some fun with it. What are you going to do to kind of mix yours up a little bit? Let's go, shall we? So I'm going to use these three colours again first. I'm going to bring some of these three colours back into the artwork. So for example, the red. Let's just go in and put some smaller red spots in amongst there. Same with the coral pink. Let's bring out some of that coral pink. Into there. Don't think about this too much, just kind of throw it in. If it's starting to look good, then do a little bit more. If it's not, then do a little bit less. Over there on the spots, let's just put some little grey bits in. Nothing too much in there. I am going to put that drop shadow across the top. You know, I said about that earlier. I'm going to see what that looks like. If it doesn't look any good, don't copy me. There we go. Look. Yeah, I kind of like that in there. Let's go and put some extra little spots under there as well. Tell you what I like doing on a skull. I don't want to put any more colours down here, but what I do want to put on the skull is a little crack. There we go, that looks quite nice. You see that as well, a little L shape over the corner of the eye there. Throw in some pupils if you want. I'm going to finish off with some black spots. In the middle there. What about some drips? I'm just throwing ideas out there. If you've got your own ideas, go and do those. There we go, look, some little drips. That looks pretty neat. Of course, when you put drips on like that, it's very difficult then to put a power line on afterwards, so I'm not sure we really need a power line on there. Yeah, I'm going to put some black spots up in this area. Pretty much on the home straight now, so I haven't done colourful spots on the outside edge for a long time, so I'm going to do that. Just need another pink one there, I think. Really subtle with the red ones. So the pink one's quite big. The red ones, I'm just going to bring them in. Not quite have so many. Definitely not as big anyway. Fabulous. I think I might just leave it at that. Tempted to just put some little pink spots in the eyes just to make that. See if that works. No, I'm not gonna mess around with it. Half of being an artist is knowing when you're finished. You only know you've gone too far when you've gone too far. So yeah, pick a point to stop. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to make it hairy. Yeah, that looks pretty neat. Why not? A few little hairs in there. Okay, one little signature, then we're done. And let's see how people finished off their work. When you're ready, hold it up to screen, whip yourself into gallery view, hold it up to screen. Let's see what you've done that's different compared to everybody else's. Maisie, that's awesome. Oh, where have you gone? Oh man, camera failure, just as I was looking at Maisie's. Maisie did like some, yeah, look at that. Well done. Technical issues resolved. The crack in the middle of the skull is massive and looks awesome. Also, I don't know, are they meant to look like the screen mask in the top? Yeah, that's exactly what they look like. I really like that. Makes it like double creepy. And you've got some crosses in the eyes as well. And yeah, loving the extra power lines you've got going around the outside edge as well. Brilliant stuff, mate. Well done, Maisie.
I tried to do a glow effect.
Ah, fantastic. Nice. Looks awesome. Let's see how Christian's done with his. Yeah, again, they look like cookies on the top. Maybe I'm just hungry. A little bit more outlining to do around the top, but you're just about there, yeah. It's a deep grey as well. Look at the strong shadows. It'll be interesting to see if you put a little bit of light grey in there with that. But that looks awesome. Nice. And look at you, gone all cute with the little hearts at the top. Well done. Brilliant stuff. Let's have a look at Harry T. So look, Harry's showing you what I was talking about earlier, you know, about using completely random colours. Look at the pink around the spots. Looks really good. And you've got, what's that, blue and emerald or aqua or something like that in there as well. Three colours that I'd never put together, mate, but look absolutely awesome. Dragging it along for that glitch effect as well. Love that. Nice. Little details in that as well. You know, the little kind of circles, rather than colouring them in, just putting little donut shapes. Really like that. Cheers, Harry. I'm definitely stealing some of your ideas for the next workshop. Let's have a look at Jovi. How are you doing, Jovi? Line wear looks great. Look at the little tiny mushroom as well on the side. That's brilliant. And it looks like it's got a little tiny face, a little baby mushroom. But the shadows across the head, shadows look absolutely perfect on there. Really nice. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jovi. Addy, how did you get on? Oh, Addy's gone cute as well. Look at those great big hearts down the bottom. That's really cute, mate. That's the kind of Valentine's card somebody wants, yeah? A skull with like red eyes and hearts. That's really nice, mate. Awesome stuff. Well done, Addy. Thank you very much. Good balancing, Maisie. Francis, hope you got on all right, mate. Yeah, like I say, if anybody's not been able to show their artwork but still wants to show it when they're finished, just go and chuck it in the WhatsApp group or go to the Korp Academy Facebook group and throw it in there so I can have a little look. Look at that. There's Addy's from earlier on. Yeah. Oh, do you want to see tomorrow's mushroom? So not tomorrow's. There's a video tutorial coming out for another mushroom. It's going to look like that. So yeah, have a little go at that one because that's a really cool one as well. Right. Thank you very much for taking part, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the next couple of days. I'll be back again for another live session on Thursday. Hopefully I'll catch you then. All right.
Bye.
See you later, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.